really one-sided. I'll probably end up maybe dropping in Impala. Or I could just do something weird and drop over here. Let's do that. I actually don't think I'll manage to fly that far, but I could probably do it from there. Although I'm coming over... Wait, somebody just landed me. Yeah, right. So as soon as it goes, I'll try to fly over that way. There we go. I'd need to parachute probably. There we go. I doubt I'll make it that far. Like, by the time I get close to it, there's a very good chance that the map will have already put down its circle and I'll probably have to turn back. Unless it's, like, over that way. But I really don't think it will be. The only reason why I'm going over this way is because it's not on the line in the least bit, and I get the feeling that everybody will have gone along the line and dropped out either straight down or just on either side of the line, and they're all just going to be condensed somewhere along it. If anything, I reckon they'll be probably in that town over there, like the really big one, because it's too centered to the whole thing. Too tempting. Whereas if I go over here, there's a good chance that I could be the only person over here, and I have time to pair carefully and you know, pick up some decent guns, and maybe by then a third of the players might be dead from either being outside of the zone and or actually just killing each other. So by the time I run into wherever the zone is, by the look of it, it might actually be where I am because I'm not seeing the dotted line come up. Yeah, by the time they come into wherever the zone is, that's another probably third dead by that point on this map. And then after that, it's only 1/3 of the yeah, I'll be in it. That's awesome. That means they have to come this way. Have a quick look at that. Yeah, no, they'll be mostly in the circle, or the ones that are closer to the water along the beach will have to come in. But I mean, yeah, I don't really have to worry about too many over here then. There's nobody in the sky. All right. Get to looting. In there. Very good. Very good indeed. Hit that gun and I'll avoid it at all costs. Like, some people think it's really, really great, and that's great if you can use it well. But I can't, and I'm not going to pretend that I can. So if I have to pick it up, it's because there's no other options. Really, I don't kind of want to have a win in this gun, but you know, until I grab a second one, that will be fine to walk with. Yes, go. There's a good question. Okay, so it's got a little more power, but its effective range is kind of shit. I do like the M24, to be honest, and the stability is less on the car. Give me more of that. Helmet. Honestly, that is the worst scope, but okay. What's out here? Again, don't want any of that. There we go. Yeah, this will do. That, swap that, that. Get the fuck out. 60 should be enough. I need maybe more. No. Honestly, it's a long range gun. I don't need that much. This I do because I'm a shit shot. I know it. was good. Oh, look at all the healing and like energy stuff in here. Yay. All right. Pretty good. Pretty good. I don't want to go in there because I'll get lost in that building. Like, for real, I'll get lost and I won't know which way's out for the longest time, and it'll give me more of a chance of somebody sneaking up on me, throwing me over. Oh, medkit. I don't see these enough. I know this is the same kind of building, but I'm only going to go in the garage. This little area here. If I go any further past it, I probably won't see the light of day. Yes, that is better. Go in that room. I saw, not this one. I thought there was, yeah, there's one of those there. I don't mind those buildings. Again, I always forget that there's like multiple sides of it. No, I was going to. Okay. So, this isn't too bad of a map to try to explain this on stuff behind here. Is obviously if you've played PUBG, you kind of probably know this stuff anyway. But if it's not something that you've thought about, or it's not something that you've really looked into or know much about, like if you don't understand how this is sort of coming in and stuff, the best way to explain it is like this map, where the circle is, the playable circle, is very, very centered at the moment. We're about to get bombs. So, like, the circle will come in almost perfectly centered, and then this kind of thing being in the center will likely stay in the same kind of position and just go further in, having been already in the center. However, when it goes in again one more time, like, this might be off by just the smallest amount on one of these sides. Like, here's 2 squares and that one's not. So it's more likely that because it's pushed up, it will bounce in this way, slightly off center up, instead of it being perfectly centered. So as the circle gets smaller, because this will go from being a circle to pushing up into this smaller area here, hopefully, theoretically, and then because it'll be so far this way, it'll then have to push up into here in the reverse. It kind of reverses on itself until it ends up in the circle in the center. So I'd imagine that here or here would ultimately end up being the very center circle. So I'm going to assume, like, I actually think it's here, but I'm going to go safe in here because it's close enough. I don't want it to be in the very center if it is, but that would be close enough. I think that's those 2 concrete long buildings that are open and hollow by the look of it, have just like a little bit of rubble in between. So that would be fine. It's kind of a sucky spot for being that close to the hill. Ideally, for a spot like that, I'd want to be kind of like up here somewhere. But then being on a ridge like that, like I'm protected from the back for sure, but then I'm not protected from like a side shot, like people being in Picardo on high buildings or in the graveyard, which is elevated to where this kind of is, will just put me in a really extremely vulnerable spot, and honestly wouldn't be worth it. Like, it would be safer to hide down there because the people will be looking up here trying to get people, especially when the circle comes in. If it ends up being in this kind of area at the end, what will happen is you'll have so many people in this Picardo, the Power Grid, San Martin, and all of them, right? And they'll have to run in. The ones up here will be pretty safe. The ones down here will be super exposed. You'll have snipers all along here and all along over here, just trying to get them. And quite frankly, the best spot in that kind of scenario is to kind of come in through the back here, because it ends up being backed onto like a full open area and people aren't expecting to have somebody run in at the back there because it's just so wide open. Like, why would you come from, oh shit, that's a bit of light. I had myself thinking somebody was in that window floating around. I'm like, oh. Like, I love the graphics, but God, they scare me. Yeah, that's basically the best way I could probably describe it. Each map slightly different. Some are way more obvious